What's up, Bugdogudini in the garage? Today we're going to tackle one of my absolute least favorite maintenance jobs on a Jeep, but it's got to be done because if it doesn't get done, it'll give you death wobble, which is my current situation. That's right, we're talking about front lower control arms and more importantly, control arm bushings. This right here is what makes this job kind of a nightmare. Now, we're going to be doing this on a 2001 Jeep Grand Cherokee WJ, but this process and the tips I'm going to give you in this video are going to be the same for your ZJ Grand Cherokee, obviously your WJ, your XJ Cherokee, your TJ Wrangler, JK Wrangler, JL Wrangler, anything with a solid front axle, Dana 30, and coil spring front suspension. So YJs, you guys don't have to worry about this because you don't have control arms. Now, I got all my parts from Detroit Axle on Amazon, highly recommend them. Great company, I'll leave a link down there. You can get for like 80 bucks the front uppers and lowers, and then these are Moog bushings that we are going to throw in there. I'll leave you a link to that too. Again, on Amazon it's real easy because it just shows up at your door in like 2 days. Let's get the Jeep pulled in the garage. Again, I'm not going to give you every thread of every bolt on this video. There are plenty of videos that are an hour and 20 minutes long and they show you every thread of every bolt. We're going to go over the tips and tricks, how to make this job slightly less miserable. I'll tell you what it is. The name of the game in this job, having the right tools for the job. We're going to get to that in a second. Let's get the Jeep in the garage. Get started. Alright friends, now there's no reason you can't get this job done with just a standard set of sockets, maybe a BFH, a little bit of determination, but if you want to make your life easier, I highly recommend you seek out some of these tools if at all possible. An impact makes this job, and every job, a heck of a lot easier. As you all know, I do not own one. Thankfully, Eric let me borrow his today. And with that, T50 is the size you're going to need to get the bolts out. I highly recommend you buy an impact specific one. I can't tell you how many T50s I've broken doing this job. I got this one from Tekton, super affordable on Amazon. I'll leave you a link down below. I really like this little piece right here. Oh boy, an air hammer sure does make it easier. Pneumatic hammer, you're going to see why later. You can do it with a cold chisel and a BFH, but this little puppy, if you can find one, I got this one cheap. I'll leave you a link to not this one, but one that's very similar on Amazon, super affordable, assuming you have the air compressor to run it. And then this guy right here, ball joint press makes this a heck of a lot easier. This is an Astro kit that I bought a little bit ago, again, off Amazon. Again, I'll leave you a link. I love this kit. It's the most affordable ball joint kit I've found that is actually quality, but you can rent a ball joint kit from any auto parts store if you don't feel like jimmy jamming the cash down. This was it over 100 bucks? I don't know. To me it was worth every penny because I do enough of these things, but I'll leave you links to all these things down there if you're interested. But again, you can get it done the old-fashioned way. Grandpa got this stuff done, no reason you can't. Alright, let's get under the Jeep, start talking about some of the particulars. Alright, step one obviously is to jimmy jam the old control arms out. To do that, you're going to want to get the body of the Jeep up, but you don't necessarily have to lift the wheels off the ground or even take them off. So I got the Jeep suspended by some jack stands so that the tire's just barely off the ground, and that's going to give us the access we want to get to the control arm mounts. Alright friends, now you can clearly see how an impact would be a benefit here. You got your T50 right here, backside's a 15-ish millimeter. Highly recommend you do one side at a time, otherwise your axle's going to get real wonky on you. Let's try it with the old socket first. Do it the old-fashioned way before we bring in the big guns. There we go. That's a good angle on there. Oh, yeah. Get her started moving, then you put the wrench on her. And would you, Christmas amateur hour. I was about to say, would you look at that? It's perfect. There you go. Rest it right against your track bar there. And little by little, she'll pop right out. Now for some of you, your Jeeps are going to be high mileage, rusty, dusty, and crusty, and that might not come out as easy as this one just did. Alrighty, we are now front and center in the wheel well. Can you tell me where our mounting bolt is? It's hidden behind this little doohickey here. Now, if your Jeep does not have these, highly recommend you find some, junkyard or whatever, because that's just straight up into the frame there. Now, I've actually got a little bit of roddy body there, don't I? No big deal, but if your Jeep just has a big hole here, you're asking for big trouble. Now in there, way deep down in there, let's see if we can see. Y'all see what we're up against? That is a 13 mil stud. On the other side is a tag bolt, so if you're lucky, you can hit this with the old impact and it'll just spin right out. If not, I think it's like a, I don't know, we'll find out if we have to. It might be a 15 on the other side of that. Alright, there we go, right down in there. And there we go. Oh, here's that tag nut from the other side. So that point right there is why it won't just spin all the way around on you. You're in good shape now. That came out real nicely. Let's see if we can't wiggle our bolt out now. There we go. Bolt's out. It's a weird looking bolt, isn't it? 13 mil head. And now the top of our front control arm, upper control arm, is free. It's been liberated. Let's go celebrate its freedom. Alright, I know there's a lot of crap in the way, but I think you can probably see what's going on now. A lot of times this bolt will come out, see, just like that. And this is easy once the tension's been taken off the rest of the control arm. So don't just sit there banging on it because you're fighting an uphill battle. And this guy will come right out. You can see, not the worst. I think these bushings are what was giving me my trouble. Oh yeah, they're real bad. This Jeep had death wobble, and I'm almost certain it's from the control arms. I put the upper control arms in. You guys may remember I redid everything in the suspension. Wheel bearings, axles, track bar, Jesus Christ, tie rods, all of it. There's a video, link up in the corner if you're interested in that. The only thing I didn't do were the control arms because of how much I hate doing this job. The easy part's officially done. Now we got to get this bushing out. All right, friends, here are the bushings. It's going to be easier to show you out here than under the Jeep because there's all kinds of crap in the way. Basically, your axle's down there in the mud and the blood and the beer. All types of mean, nasty, ugly things. So these bad boys are going to be rusted in there, on top of the fact that they're pressed in to begin with. Now, what you need to do is create some relief. The best way is to get on whatever angle you can and kind of push this collar in. Now, you can do it with a cold chisel and a BFH. It goes a heck of a lot quicker with this, but this is absolutely a viable way. Then once you've done that, you can find which cups fit, and you get your ball joint press on it and pop it right out. But if you just try to get behind this right now, you're in for a miserable time with the ball joint press. So we're gonna go into there right now. I guess in the spirit of things, I'll give it a shot with this first, just to show you it's doable. Now, another thing that I can recommend, if you have to replace your drag link, your track bar, maybe do this when you're doing that, because then all this stuff will be out of the way. I'm actually a proponent of taking the whole axle out and like at the same time do ball joints, do these, but I didn't do that last time, and it didn't make sense to pull the whole axle out just for this. So we're gonna get on there, like I said, and try to start creating some relief points. Maybe get behind it some. Careful, this is a what is that? A trans-cooler line. Beat that up, you're gonna have a bad day. Let's see about the air hammer there. Wow, this is the leakiest air hammer known to man. Alright, can you see the separation I'm talking about? I got both hands busy right now. But you see that space in there? We created that. So if we can just chase that space around, this little guy's going to pop out without even needing the ball joint press. There we go. Easy, right? Couldn't be simpler. Where'd that fancy fornicator go? So here's what you're up against. It's pressed in, and then it's all rusted. I think factory ones even have these little tabs right here, which I forgot to bang out. And those tabs, yeah, you can see there's 3 of them. It's kind of a place where they'd punched it in, so that's how you know they're factory. And these were pretty bad. They were giving me the death wobbles when I hit a big old porthole. The passenger side, which we just did, is the harder of the 2 sides because there's no access. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to clean up the inside with a wire wheel. The amateur out. I'm all out of breath from banging on this fancy guy. Clean the inside of the hole with a wire wheel, brush, whatever you got, and then we're going to press this guy in with the ball joint press. Conversely, you could find a socket that's the right size and tappity tap 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 it in, but we have the ball joint press, we're going to use that. All right, friends, here is a way to avoid a mistake that almost every first timer makes. The top of your mount here is open. Gotta find something to take up that space while you press it. For me today, a 17 mil wrench is gonna do it. I'm just gonna hold that down while I twist here, and this ball joint press is gonna pull it all together. Alrighty, friends, the next tip I have for you is this ridiculous looking contraption here. Come along. Your axle's going to want to tilt forward, so your bolt hole is going to be way out of alignment. I recommend you get your back bolt in first. Don't tighten anything down until the Jeep is on its weight on its all 4 feet, but get your back bolt in first, then get a come along. You can use a ratchet strap, but I find it gets real difficult. You have to really put some gravity into them. Put it on the tower up there where the control arm mount is, and then the other side you can't see. It's right there, just hooked on the transfer case cross member, and then crank it right into alignment. I had to do maybe about a little over 1/4 of an inch out of alignment that I had to make up for, but now I should be able to run up there and throw the bolt in. Alrighty friends, how are we looking? Oh yeah, I think she's right about there. Should be close. Should be darn close. Let's see, can we tap her in? Or do we have to pull the come along once more? There it is. Gotta line it up on the other side. Now the final thing to remember is that you have to tighten everything down when she's at ride height. No jack stands, no jack, which means you're probably gonna have to sneak in there with hand tools, but that's no bother. We've got them. So we're going to tighten up that one. We're going to tighten up the T50 on the freight side here, way up there. Let's see, way up, well, up there somewhere. Who the hell knows where? Then I'm going to jimmy jam through the other side, and then we're going to close this thing out. So there are, friends, 2 control arm bushings. These are what get real loose. One's on the axle side. You can see this driver's side one. She really fought me. No big deal. It's one of my least favorite jobs because you're crawling around under the Jeep. If you have to do like ball joints and tie rods and all that stuff, you may want to consider just pulling the axle right out of the Jeep, and then you can do everything on a bench. It takes 1/4 of the time. The only thing I had to do today were the control arms, lower control arms. So I rolled around in the mud and the blood and the beer like a friggin' idiot all day. No big deal. Got my hands nice and dirty. You know what they say, something about dirty hands, job well done. I don't know. So that's all there is to it. Hope I gave you some hints on how to make this a little bit easier. At the end of the day, it's just kind of a brute force job if you're doing it in the Jeep. Like I said, I used all Detroit axle stuff, so for like 80 bucks, got a kit that had the upper and lower control arms, so I'm just gonna trip over stuff, no big deal. I'll leave you links to those parts as well as all the tools I used. Like I said, the Astro kit is key. I love that thing. If you do like 1 set of ball joints a year, which is what I just about do, it kind of makes sense for the convenience to just buy one, in my opinion. If you very rarely ever need a ball joint press, then just keep renting it. Go down to AutoZone. They probably need like a $60, $80, $100 deposit from you, but you get it back when you're done with it. So, if you've got any questions, by all means, leave me a comment down there in the squawk boxes. If you know any other tips on how to do this even easier, I'd love to hear it. Oh, here's one more. Here's one I meant to tell you. Oh, this is just a general ball joint press tip. Get some masking tape. The hardest thing is when you've got like 2 cups on top and another 2 on the bottom. Go ahead and masking tape them together. It makes it a heck of a lot easier at lining things up, and then you remember what combination you used. So like I used this one to press both sides in. Oh, here you go. That was a freebie. You guys got a freebie out of me today. Leave me a comment down there in the squawk boxes if you like the video. Like the video, that's common sense. Subscribe to the channel. Maybe go check us out on our website, monkeywiththetoolbox.com, where we have links to all the tools we use anyway. So if you ever have a question, we also take suggestions over there, which is pretty cool. I've been getting a couple of them. I'm hearing your suggestions. It's just a matter of planning out when I can do those videos and getting them on down the road to you. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Like I said, leave me that comment down there in the squawk boxes as always. Thanks for watching. See you next time. I gotta go test this drive. Test amateur hour. I have to go test drive this. I might have done this whole thing wrong. I might need to edit the video. It's unlikely though. I could work on a Dana 30 in my sleep. Like I said, thanks for watching.